What do you give a hot dog with a fever?
What?
Mustard. It's the best thing for a hot dog.
You're right.
Hungry Squared, bringing you the best food talk anywhere.
Welcome to Hungry Squared Podcast, where the brain and belly meet. I'm Sharon from the Wasatch Cooking Guide.
And I'm Winter from theredparty.com. This week, we are talking about dogs.
Hot diggity dog.
Let's talk about it.
Hungry Squared, yeah, Hungry Squared.
Sharon, how's your week been? Did you eat anything fun or awesome or terrible?
I ate something really good.
Let's talk about it.
I had to travel for work this week, and I was in the lovely town of Cedar City, Utah. That's in southern Utah. And I went to Sunny Boy's Barbecue, and I had fry-chos.
What? Is that like, wait.
Nachos, but they were fries instead of chips. And then they put barbecue meat on it.
Ooh.
Instead of your regular seasoned meat.
That sounds delicious. So was it like everything? The guac, the sour cream, maybe a little salsa action?
There was a little salsa action. There was a ton of cheese. There was some sour cream and guac. And there was barbecue sauce too. And you think that's terrible? Let me tell you, it is not.
I don't think it would be.
It was so good. And this pulled pork, so good.
So it was a gut buster.
It was, because those fry-chos were not mine. So I had a barbecue pork sandwich and it was super good. But I helped my friend eat her fry-chos, and we still only ate half of
oh my gosh,
the pan. And I will say it came out in a pan looking thing.
Kind of like a cake pan?
Yeah.
To contain it all?
Yeah. And then as the guy hands it to her, because, you order, and then sometimes they give you your food at the counter, or if you have to wait for a second, and they'll bring it out to your table. And as he's bringing it out to the table, he hands it to her and just says, "Good luck."
Oh. And
walks away.
Oh.
It was so good though.
That's awesome. How's their barbecue sauce? Is it a hotter or
So that was the thing, is that I didn't see any variety of barbecue sauces, but I will be going back there soon because I do have to go for work again. So I will go back there soon and ask them about that. But what I saw was just a sweeter barbecue sauce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like a sweeter barbecue sauce personally.
Yeah.
With a little heat.
I like a variety. And so they did have they had a condiment bar, but I didn't see like other barbecue sauces in there. But they are Southern, and I did see what looked like a white sauce. And we can talk that's for another episode.
Yeah, that's
entirely.
Another episode. Totally.
So I did see that there. So I'm pretty sure they probably have other barbecue sauces, but it was the lunch rush. So I just wasn't probably seeing it, but it was really tasty.
That sounds awesome. And like a little,
you can be jealous. It's okay.
I'm a little jealous because I love kind of loaded fries. They're basically loaded fries.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So good.
Yeah. Delicious.
What did you eat this week?
So we have a lot of leftover cheese.
Why do you have leftover cheese? Except I already know that answer.
Yeah, you do. And I think we may have talked about it already on the podcast, but we had our annual cheese party.
Yum.
And we kind of do this cheese party where everybody is required to bring a cheese that starts with the first letter of either their first or last name, or I think we've done middle name one time or two.
I've improvised on that one.
Yes. And it's just to encourage people to get something that they would normally not get.
Yeah.
Something that is like...
Because otherwise you're there with a bunch of cheddar. Like, it's an Irish cheddar.
Yeah. And cheddar's
good.
Cheddar's great, but there's other fun cheeses out there. So we had a lot of leftover cheese, and we always have this dilemma of like, what are we going to do with this extra cheese? And it usually ends up being like grilled cheese sandwiches because it's super easy and fast, and we don't have to worry about it. And we can just like get a salad and have a grilled cheese sandwich. But this time we made a gourmet mac and cheese. So unfortunately, like if there's leftover cheese, we just kind of bag it up into different bags.
And you don't always know what it is. Sometimes you get surprised when you open up that bag and it's a spicy one or it's an extra stinky one.
Yes, exactly. And so Lee just took all of the cheese and shredded it as best as he could.
Good job.
And then we made this, so it's a gourmet grilled cheese, gourmet mac and cheese. So we made a bechamel.
Ooh.
And then added all of this cheese and milk and, the elbow macaroni. And then, of course, he fried up some bacon too and put some bacon bits in it too. And then I think the thing that really topped it up for me was that he got a nice loaf of bread, like a French loaf of bread, cut them up into squares and put it on the top.
Oh.
And then
kind of like
they were croutons
on the macaroni and cheese.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and then he stuck it in to warm everything. I mean, well, I guess everything was pretty much warmed through when you add the bechamel with the cheese sauce and everything.
Right.
And then he put those croutons on and toasted those babies up, and it was so good.
Yum.
It was so good. We made a ton.
So how many cheeses did you use in this mac and cheese?
I cannot say for sure, but I think there was about 12 different cheeses.
Oh, and that turned out.
Yeah. I think the ones that we used specifically were kind of the medium hard to the hard cheeses. So they worked out pretty well. There was definitely ones that were, I feel like there was a white cheddar in there somewhere.
Sure.
But it was really good. And I think we're probably not going to make it more than once a year because it was so rich. I think I'm going to need to go running for a while to work this one off. Yeah. But it was so delish, and Lee did a great job.
Yum.
He just kind of saw this recipe, kind of improvised. It had nutmeg in it.
I love adding nutmeg to
what?
my macaroni and cheese.
What? I'd never heard of that before.
I'm a weirdo, but
nutmeg. It was delightful. So that's what I ate, and I'm happy.
It's a sweet, peppery goodness.
Yeah.
That you can't beat. And you wouldn't think that nutmeg is very peppery, but it is a little bit.
But it gives it a nice little something.
Mm-hmm.
It was delicious. So yeah, that's what I ate, and I'm happy.
Yay.
And now for the main course.
Okay, let's get down to the topic at hand. Hot dogs.
Okay, Sharon. I had a ton of fun researching the history of hot dogs.
Did you now?
I did. This was I had no idea.
Oh, tell me some more about what you didn't have an idea on.
Okay, so hot dogs have been around for a long time.
Yeah, they have been.
They've been around for a long time. So there was I guess there's something, a Babylonian collection of manuscripts it's about, they have some documentation about the first cookbook.
Ooh.
This is housed at Yale, and that was over 3,700 years ago in Babylon. And they talk about cooked meat being stuffed in a goat's stomach.
Oh, meat in a casing.
Yes, that's basically it is.
Meat in a casing.
Yep. And they also kind of talk about how it was first maybe discovered by the Sumerians in the Mesopotamian area.
Okay.
That's current day Iraq.
Right.
And they also talk about the Chinese having their version of a hot dog or a sausage in 580 BC. So there's actually quite a bit of reference to hot dogs.
So the
original
some sort of
sausage.
hot dog was made from goat meat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know exactly what the meat was. They talked about cooked meat, but it was in a goat stomach. So that was your casing. So I don't know if it was goat meat, but they used the goat.
If it was way back then, I don't know if it was a cow.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Heck, even Homer wrote about it in the Odyssey. So they talk about a blood sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So there's... Mm-hmm. So, but our modern day Frankfurter, I would say, or the Wiener, right?
Because it's German.
It's German, and it originates from Frankfurt, Germany, of course. And it was a pork sausage. And I'm going to say this wrong, but I'm going to give it a try. They used to call them Frankfurter Würstchen. I'm sorry, people. I know I was going to butcher that, so I apologize for that. They actually have documentation in the 13th century that these Frankfurters were given out during imperial coronations. So the first one was Maximilian II, who was a Holy Roman Empire, and they gave those out to
royal hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, kind of. So
okay.
And then the Wiener, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is German, the German name for Vienna, Austria.
Oh, right.
So the Wiener in that term is usually a pork and beef sausage. And there is a butcher that has been credited to creating this kind of sausage. And his name is Johann Georg Lahner from Coburg, Germany. And that was 18th, 19th century. So very interesting, long history of hot dogs. Now, our current day hot dogs, Sharon.
Current modern day, modern.
Which goes back to about 1870, right? Yes. So Charles Feltman was kind of credited, and he was credited for selling hot dogs on rolls, right? Because you had the Frankfurters, you had these wieners.
Oh, right.
But they were kind of being sold just as the hot dog. I mean, the actual sausage itself, and that's it.
So it wasn't really a handheld.
It was, and so he actually put it on a roll. And I want to bring up another one because there's actually a lot of people that claim the start of the hot dog on a roll.
Right.
There was another one. He was from Germany. His name was Antonin. Oh, I'm going to say that wrong. I'm sorry. Antonin Feuchtwanger. And apparently what he was doing was those hot dogs were really hot, right? And he would hand them to customers, but he would give them a pair of white gloves to handle them because they were so warm. However, he was losing so many white gloves because people would walk off without them and without giving them back to him.
Yep.
And so his wife actually encouraged him to hey, why don't we actually get these rolls and so they could just take it with them. They could just go off with them.
Leave it to a woman for the ingenuity.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Making a sandwich.
So that was one thought. And the other one was that he actually did this. That was on the streets of St. Louis, Missouri. But the other thing was that he did the same thing, and it was either at a World's Fair, one of the World Fairs in 1893 or in 1904. So, So the white glove thing was that people were just keeping them as a souvenir during the World's Fair, and so he was like, I'm losing money here. So
those jerks,
they're living with my white gloves, and I thought that was kind of funny. That was smart of him to hey, you can have these hot dogs, but I don't want you to burn your hands. So here are these lovely white gloves, and then he started losing those a lot. But I just thought that kind of history was really fun. I loved the story. Let me tell you about this, and I think it's apocryphal actually. But I kind of like the story. I'm going to go with it.
Okay.
You guys can shoot me down because I know that there's no evidence of this, but I really like this story.
Ooh, okay.
So
folklore.
Yes, exactly. So they talk about how these German sausages and rolls, so at this time it was in 1901, they were being sold at the New York Polo Grounds during the winter time. And they were, called them.
So it wasn't a baseball game?
Nope, it wasn't. It was polo. And so this person, the person that was selling them, called them dachshund sandwiches because they're kind of long.
Oh, like a dachshund dog.
Dachshund like a dog, right? But the New York Post, there was a New York Post cartoonist. He couldn't spell dachshund, so he drew a cartoon and called them hot dogs.
Well, 1901, they didn't have spell check.
Yeah, exactly. Because I don't think I would be able to spell dachshund either. It just doesn't look. It just looks weird.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We'll give him a pass.
Yeah. So I kind of like that story. But unfortunately, there's not this particular cartoonist has quite prolific, and there has been no reference. They have not been able to find that actual cartoon. So, but I still like that story. So you can take that as what you'd like to take it as.
Urban legend.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. So the other thing, so I mentioned earlier that German immigrant Charles Feltman, he was the one that everybody kind of talks about, started selling sausages in rolls. One of his former employees, Nathan Handwerker, he was encouraged by a couple of his friends, Eddie Cantor and Jimmy Durante. Did I say that right? I don't
Jimmy
think.
Durante.
Durante, that's right. They encouraged him to go into business for himself and go and sell hot dogs and kind of undercut his former employer, excuse me. And so I think maybe I'll pass the buck to you to continue with that story because I think that's a fun story.
Well, that's how my favorite hot dog, if you could have a favorite, was born. And that's the Nathan's Famous.
Yes.
And another really cool thing that I love about Nathan's Famous, it's all beef. It's pretty good. It's much better than your average dog. I will give it that. But one of my favorite things, and you probably didn't know about this because Nathan's Famous has a hot dog eating contest held every 4th of July. I happen to have avid watcher of this hot dog eating contest.
I don't know how you do it.
Been for years.
I don't know how you can do it because I watched it for the first time
this
year.
It's on ESPN too.
I know. I turned it on this year and I was horrified.
Right?
Horrified.
But in a fascinating way.
It's kind of true, but
it was like a train wreck. You can't look away from it.
It was horrifying.
Cannot look away.
It was scary to me. I was like, bah.
Yeah. So the winner so they have women's competition
No.
and a men's competition.
Oh, no.
And this competition is sponsored. It's sanctioned, I should say. It's not really sponsored by. It's sponsored by Nathan's Famous, of course, because it's their hot dogs. It's sanctioned by the MLE.
What is MLE?
Major League Eating Association. And there's qualifying contests to go to the Nathan's Famous
In regions?
Yeah, there's regional hot dog eating contests that they sponsor that you have to qualify there
What?
in order to go to the one on July 4th.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
How long is this? Do you know how long this contest has been going on?
Well, so no, I don't, because it's a little unclear how long it's been going on. Supposedly, this was their 100th year this year in 2016, because according to legend, but there's not really very good records, they started it in 1916, and it was basically a dare.
Oh.
And it was like, who's the most patriotic? Because it was on the 4th of July. So whoever was the most patriotic was the one who ate the most hot dogs.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, because I was about to say, like, when I was reading the history about Nathan Handwerker and how he started it, it said that he started his company in 1916. So it was that year.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So that was like the inaugural year, supposedly. We're not really sure.
You know what? I bet that was kind of, think about that. That was the original, like, viral social media. Like, oh my gosh, you guys come watch these people down a bunch of hot dogs.
Oh, sure. Everybody's at Coney Island having a good time.
On the 4th of July.
Yeah.
That was awesome. So how did he, I just wanted to point out one thing. Feltman, his original employer, he basically ended up going out of business because Nathan started charging less.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Wasn't he charging like he was half as much as what his...
Yeah, he was charging a nickel.
Yeah.
Instead of the other dude, Charles Feltman, was charging a dime.
Oh my gosh. Smart. And then he...
Nickel and diamond.
Yeah. Oh.
I don't know where that came from.
But maybe that's
where that came from.
And you know, I think that's probably why he went out of business and Nathan has come to the forefront, because you don't I've never heard of Charles Feltman until I started reading into this.
But you've heard of Nathan?
I sure have. Okay.
Handworker.
So tell me more about these eating competitions, because it's horrifying.
It's intense and it's awesome. So the MLE, the Major League Eating Association, is formerly the International Federation of Competitive Eating, but since that's a mouthful, they are now the MLE. They've been sanctioning this event since 1997, and the contestants are usually consisting of the defending champ, winners from regional qualifying contests for that season, and then individual qualifiers for one of two wild cards. And the wild cards are the highest two average qualifier scores without winning a single qualifying event. And then there's the special invites, which that's a whole... The special invite people.
Are they like celebrities?
Sometimes in years past they have been, and that's caused a lot of controversy because they're not pro eaters. And these people that are on the Major League Eating circuit, they are professional eaters. And it's the same people that went, and there's other eating contests. There's other contests. There's a bacon contest.
Oh, no.
The lady who won the women's event.
Oh, okay. The women's event. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
The lady who won the women's event this year, Mickey Sudo, she recently won the bacon eating contest less than a month before the Nathan's Famous contest. So it was in June. And she ate 8 pounds of bacon in
8 pounds of bacon?
Something like 8 minutes. That's like a pound a minute.
That is a lot of bacon. Where does that go?
She's not a real big woman either.
Really?
Right? Surprising. So, and part of the contest rules is so for Nathan's Famous and all eating contests, so really, it's who consumes the most and keeps it down.
Right. Because isn't there a certain
There's
time?
no barfing allowed.
Yeah, there's like a time that you have to actually keep it.
Yeah.
Right.
So
in
they're looking at you after the time goes up. You know, you can't go, there's no refunding allowed.
That's gross.
So with Nathan's Famous, so drinks are allowed. Most have water on hand. Other drinks are allowed, but most people use water. Condiments are allowed, but rarely ever used.
Well, why would you use that?
Because you're just trying to eat the most dogs.
Yes, exactly. I mean...
So the hot dogs are cooled slightly just to prevent mouth burns. And then it's the contestant who consumes the most hot dogs and buns. So each hot dog is in a bun and keeps it down without barfing, without refunding in 10 minutes is the winner.
That's impressive.
Miki Sudo won the women's event this year. Do you have a guess at how many hot dogs she got?
I'm going to guess, let's see, 39.
Ooh, you're so close.
Really?
You were almost on the nose.
Really?
38 and a half.
Woo! Oh my goodness. I just kind of guessed. That's awesome. That's a lot of hot dogs. I'm just saying.
And it looks like the most in the women's event was by Sonia the Black Widow Thomas. They all have nicknames here.
I love it.
And in 2012, she ate 45.
Oh my goodness. That is crazy.
So Joey the Jaws Chestnut.
Okay. I've heard of Joey Chestnut before. I have.
Where?
Just on this thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've heard of Joey
Well,
Chestnut.
he was the defending champion.
Mhm.
Or actually, he was a champion from a couple years previous.
Right.
And stole it from the defending champion this year. He ate 70.
70?
70 in 10 minutes. That's with buns, people. With the bun.
Okay, so let's talk about this in a logistical way, because think about the bun, you guys. The bun will, have you ever done the saltine challenge? Like eating so many saltines and swallowing them in a certain amount of time?
Yeah, but I can't remember. It was in college days.
It's really hard to do that because there's no moisture and it saps the saliva that would help it go down from your mouth because they're so dry, right?
Yeah, you have to eat like some kind of sizable stack, I remember. And it was like you had to eat it in like a minute or 2 minutes.
And it's really hard just because it saps, like I said, it just soaks up all your saliva. You don't have a lot to move it down.
And then you have to be careful not to inhale the cracker crumbs.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of issues with those things. So, but
Don't do it.
Like you would have the same issue, I feel like, with the hot dog buns. They're like, those things are
thankfully,
dry.
Thankfully, they do allow drinks. And there is a well-known eater.
Yes.
Who has pioneered modern eating event techniques.
It's amazing. Can I talk about him?
Yeah.
His name is Takeru Kobayashi.
He's Japanese. He's amazing to watch.
Yes, he is. Okay, so you guys, before that time, so he kind of came onto the scene and like Sharon said, he revolutionized the way people do these eating contests now.
Well, they were kind of like wimpy numbers before. It was like, I ate 12 hot dogs in 10 minutes. Nobody cares about that.
Yeah, not anymore. Not anymore.
Nope.
So he's from Japan, like you said, but his rookie appearance was in 2001 and he ate 50 hot dogs in 12 minds. 50 hot dogs. Okay. And let me point out one thing. He doubled the previous record of 25. He doubled it. And so how did he do this? And I love this because he started training for these eating contests as if it was a sport. And he thought of ways to make things easier. And so he's kind of known for a couple of things, and I think they're funny. So he has, I think this is really funny. So he does this body wiggle. So okay, well, let me back up really quickly. First of all, he has hot dogs. He splits them in half. So he breaks them in half. So he's just dealing with the hot dog first. The Frankfurter split in half.
Yeah, okay? I've seen him do that.
Pops those in his mouth, down.
Then he pops them in at the same time.
Yeah.
So he can fit the entire hot dog in his mouth.
Yeah, but he has to break them.
Munch on it.
Yeah. So, and then the next thing he does, he dips the bun in the water because we run into the whole sucking up the saliva in your mouth issue. Yep. So he stuffs both parts into his mouth after it's been soggied. That's deemed the Solomon method, is doing this dipping and
dip and chew.
Yeah, kind of a thing. So, and then he does this other thing. He does a body wiggle. It's called the Kobayashi shake.
Oh, nice.
And it kind of forces food down his esophagus and kind of settles things in his stomach so it can fit more in there, right?
I'm trying to imagine, because I've seen him do it, but I'm like, I think that would, for me, stir stuff up.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I would be up to it personally. The shake. Because yeah, you're right. I think I would be like, ooh.
But you're totally up for the hot dog eating challenge. Just not the shake.
No, not the shake. So he approached this so differently not just like as an eating contest, like a ha ha ha, but like it was, he seriously thought about it and took it apart and like tried to figure out the best way to do it. And so he blew away the competition, and he's set so many records that it's ridiculous. Like
he has a lot of
and hamburgers.
Yeah, he has a lot of eating records. I think he holds the record for eggs.
Oh.
Like most eggs consumed,
Yikes.
like at an eating competition.
Yikes. So yeah, it is.
And he still, I think, still today participates in the Nathan's Famous.
I'm not sure. I feel like he was.
But I think it's been maybe a couple of years.
I feel like he
since
was
his last one. But I was looking up some stats, and he has recently participated in some eating contests.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive what he did, and so it totally changed the way people eat competitively. It's crazy. It's insane, in fact.
Yeah. So I was. This competitive eating thing really intrigued me. So if it intrigues you, I would highly encourage you to go to the MLE.com website, the Major League Eating Association website. They have their events. They probably have an event near you.
We should go to one of them. I think I would be horrified.
There is a moon pie eating championship.
No, that would ruin moon pies for me.
I'm sure that there's a lot of RC Cola at this moon pie eating championship because they go together.
Oh, do they?
But, yeah.
What? They do?
It's a Southern thing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of random eating competitions. Chicken wings, Twinkies.
Like, really?
Summertime also of note seems to be a like spring, summer, early fall seem to be the season for eating championships.
I wonder how you would eat a watermelon. Like if you had a watermelon eating contest, how you would do that in a really good systematic way in order to win. There's got to be.
Get all the juice first with a straw.
What do you do?
I don't know.
Has anybody ever okay, listeners, we want to know if you've entered an eating contest before. How did it go? Did you barf?
What was the contest?
Yeah.
Tell us that too.
We totally want to know.
We want to know your strategies too.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating and horrifying at the same time.
I've done plenty of eating dares, but I've never really done a contest. Like, I mean, I've done that saltine challenge or whatever. I've convinced many people to do the milk gallon.
Oh, no.
The gallon milk challenge.
No, I'm not. No, I don't.
Which I won't convince anybody on this podcast to do because
don't
it's
do
disgusting.
It's gross. Don't do it. Don't do it.
But I've done it for my own entertainment several times.
Sharon.
It's great. Yeah. But we want to know if you've been in an eating contest.
Yeah. And do you guys like hot dogs? I know some people do not like hot dogs, but I associate hot dogs with summer. I love hot dogs.
If I'm at a sporting event, namely baseball or soccer, I will make an exception for soccer. I love having a good hot dog.
Yeah. It's kind of part of I feel like the ambiance.
Yeah. So there's a lot of different ways to make a hot dog too.
Really? Oh, wait. Yes.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's competition in different, not competition, but just like people definitely have their regional preferences. Like New Yorkers have a certain way of doing things and Chicago dogs are a different way. Is that right?
Yeah. So like a New York style would be a hot dog in a bun, mustard, sauerkraut, and onion sauce.
Oh.
But a Seattle dog is a brat with cream cheese, sliced raw jalapeno, chopped cabbage, and sriracha.
That sounds good. I would eat that.
There's a Sonora dog, which is a bacon-wrapped hot dog, split on a soft roll with relish, tomatoes, onions, avocado chunks, and mayo.
Oh,
I would eat that.
Avocado chunks, yummo.
There is the traditional Dodger dog, which I have had a Dodger dog
I don't know what
at Dodger Stadium.
What is a Dodger dog? I don't know what that is.
So that's the foot-long dog in a foot-long bun with ketchup, mustard, chopped onions, and relish. Just pretty traditional
pretty
with
classic.
all the condiments.
Yeah.
I did come across one that I thought was interesting, a Korea dog, which is a corn dog, basically, that's coated with crinkle-cut fries and fried on a stick, served with ketchup.
A Korea dog?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
I don't know why they call it that.
It sounds like
I don't know if
kind
it's
of good.
Korean street food. I assume it's probably not. These are things that I'm seeing on the internet that could be totally misleading. But
I'm sure somebody's done that. I'm sure somebody's done that.
I've seen a Michigan dog, which is a hot dog in a bun with a tomato-based meat chili sauce and mustard.
Ooh, that kind
I've
of
had
sounds
one
good.
of those. Those are good. There is, of course, the bagel dog.
Oh yes,
A
the bagel.
hot dog wrapped in an everything bagel and then baked.
That actually, those are really good. We always, for our Super Bowl party that we usually do every year, we make pretzel dogs kind of.
I've had those pretzel dogs. They're
And
really good.
We call them underdog dogs because we always cheer for the underdogs at the Super Bowl. So they're delicious. Good stuff.
Another dog of note is a Brazil dog, which is a hot dog in a roll with pico de gallo, corn, grated Parmesan, shredded carrots, diced ham, cilantro, and shoestring fries.
That is like a full-on meal right there.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Oh, there's the Philippines dog, which is a bright red notched dog.
Oh, so is it like one of those
Without
red
a
hot
bun?
dogs or
Yeah,
whatever?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a bun?
No.
Well,
Served with banana ketchup, rice, and a fried egg.
Can you call that? That sounds like just a traditional like Chinese random meal.
Well, and then there's the Japanese dogs, which are they're sliced in half.
Okay.
And then they're sliced again to look like an octopus.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
they're fried, and they're usually served as part of a bento box.
So the Japanese do a lot of fun stuff with their food. So I that's to be expected.
Yeah. But I mean, basically, there's any part of the country in the US that you're from, there's probably a hot dog with your city's name on it.
I do not know what the Utah hot dog version is. Do we have anything like that?
Well, sort of.
We do?
Well, maybe not. But so I have some favorite roommates, I will say. I lived with these two sisters from Idaho.
Mm-hmm.
And to be a favorite roommate of mine, you've got to be in pretty high standing because I've lived with probably over 100 people at this point.
It's a lot. A lot.
But these two sisters from Idaho, they love hot dogs.
Really?
Yes. And their mom, as a snack, when I was little, their mom used to give them hot dogs as a snack. When I was little, I had Oreos as a snack after school. But they got hot dogs. But their mom would just give them cold hot dogs from the fridge, and then they would peel it like a banana and eat it.
Oh, okay.
But one of their family traditions is I've spent many a holiday with them as well, living together and whatnot. We've spent some Christmases and things like that. And every Easter, their family in Idaho gathers together and they have a weenie roast in the front yard.
Really?
Yeah. They roast hot dogs and that's their Easter dinner.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a fun tradition.
Yeah.
You know, and think about that. Like, you got to worry about if you don't have to worry about the ham and the...
It beats the ham
everything.
and the funeral potatoes. I think you can still eat funeral potatoes with a hot dog.
Why not? Why not? That's so awesome.
Yeah. They're such a fun family.
That's so awesome.
But yeah.
So I just want to know, wherever you're at, will you email us or post it on our Facebook page and tell us where you're at and what kind of hot dog is your regional hot dog or your city hot dog?
Is it an Easter dog like in Idaho? Or is it a Kansas City dog or a Michigan dog?
Yes.
What you got?
Yeah. Tell us, because I love hot dogs, but I apparently am pretty boring when I eat my hot dogs.
Yeah.
Ketchup and relish. I mean, boring.
Yeah.
Occasionally
Branch
some onions.
out. Branch
I know.
out.
Apparently I do. Well, I think we wrapped it up pretty good.
Yeah. Wrapped it up like a hot dog in a bun. Handheld. I don't know.
Something like that. Our podcast is brought to you by our awesome and food-loving sponsors. So today, our first sponsor is Real Salt. Sharon, have you ever had real salt before?
Everybody knows that I've had real salt
know.
before, and it's my favorite salt.
Yeah, it is. And I think it is lovely as well. It's a pretty pink salt. The kind of cool thing about it is that it is from a mine in central Utah, near Redmond, Utah, and it is all salt.
And it has 64 minerals in it.
Yeah. They don't strip any of that stuff off, and they also don't add any fillers or anti-caking agents.
Nope, it's just straight from the mine.
Yep, and it is lovely. I have some popcorn salt that they gave us, and it's been really fun to experiment with that and making my own popcorn. Just saying, it's like super finely ground. That's really hard to say for me, but it's super finely ground, and you just add a little bit to it, and it does the trick. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, it's so good. And I think it's been fun to partner with Real Salt. They have given our awesome listeners a discount. So if you go to realsalt.com and enter hungry15, hungry15, you're going to get 15% on your order. And they have all sorts of things there, not just salt. They have their seasonings. They have some other body products as well, because they not just have salt, they have some other fun things that they gather from that same mine, and same kind of, they have a little bit of a mud pit for some of their body products. And it's kind of fun to see and try some of those things. So
they do. Their clay products are awesome.
Yeah, it really is. And they have actually very strict standards on when they harvest that clay. Yeah, go check them out at realsalt.com. And once again, our Hungry Squared listeners get 15% off when they enter Hungry15. And our next sponsor is V Chocolates.
V Chocolates, my favorite.
I know, Sharon. So delicious.
So they actually partner with a local florist company here. And my friend was super excited to learn that we were partnering with V Chocolates, because she's like, I have been enjoying their chocolate dipped strawberries for years.
Oh, good. They are lovely.
They're so good. Recently, I have shared some caramels with my family. Oh, did you catch that? I said caramels instead of caramels. See, it's interchangeable.
Yes.
See our episode on caramelization.
Yes, that was an important one.
These salted chocolate caramels are so good. They're really smooth and rich, and they hit just the right notes of vanilla, sweetness, saltiness, chocolate. It's the perfect combination.
Yeah, and the ones that we had recently, they're just like half dipped in chocolate. And
they're pretty.
And they're so pretty.
They're so gorgeous.
They really are. And you guys, if you want to send a nice present, you need to give an anniversary gift.
Yeah, anniversary gift, a birthday gift.
Oh my gosh.
Holidays are going to come around the corner soon enough.
And you know what? Seriously, those boxes are so pretty. They're that kind of robin egg blue. And it's just beautiful. So it would just be a cool little gift if you needed to give somebody something. And wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You get a discount.
What?
10% off if you enter the discount code GIVELOVE at vchocolates.com.
And V is in victory, chocolates.com.
Yeah, so good. You won't be sorry.
We are so excited to partner with V Chocolates. So thank you so much to our awesome sponsors today.
Let's have a food fight.
Food fight, food fight, food fight, food fight.
This is the segment where you can email us with your relationship questions relating to food. You can email us at hungrysquared@gmail.com.
Disclaimer, we are in no way professional relationship experts, but you should totally listen to us anyway. If you need professional help, please seek it out.
Food fight, food fight. The food fight segment of the show. Here we go.
This week's question is from... Hang on, let me find the pseudonym. Got a lot of dishes. This is a good one. So it says, my husband and I just got married. We registered for a bunch of things and actually got them. Some are even duplicates or extra things though. The only bad part is we didn't get any of the china we registered for. I like our china pattern, so I'm a bit disappointed. That being said, I'm not ungrateful. I like all of our stuff. Any advice with what to do with our haul? Trade some for china or just let it go? Sincerely, got a lot of dishes.
Got a lot of dishes.
What do you think?
Okay, well, we ran into a little bit of this problem when we got married, and
Did Lee want the china?
Not really.
What?
Well, so he's, if you guys know Lee, he's not really traditional. And let's be completely honest, I'm not really a traditional type of a person either. So I registered for china because it was expected of me.
What was your pattern?
It's this really pretty red maple leaf.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was a Mikasa. I think the brand is Mikasa.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it's white. It's a white background and then white. What is that called? Porcelain.
Yeah, porcelain. Just white porcelain with
And then red, just gorgeous, gorgeous red leaves. And we registered for sets, but I think people must have known us well enough to not buy a set. I know that sounds terrible, but so we actually only got a handful of pieces. And thankfully, the pieces that we got are things that can stand on its own.
What did you get?
So I got a really large platter. Like if you need a turkey platter, that's the platter that you're going to use.
Oh, okay.
And then I got a nice big salad bowl with that pattern, and one little serving tray.
Okay.
So I kind of got some of the...
You got serving pieces. That's actually a great idea.
Yeah, it's really nice actually, because I have my regular dishes and and maybe people are like, Winter is not traditional, but she's also very clumsy, so we should not get her china.
Oh,
That's also my thoughts on things, but which is totally fine. I'm going with that. I am clumsy, so I'm quite pleased with the way it turned out. So I guess I'm curious. She sounds like the person that registered with this, our listener here. It sounds like she wanted some of the pieces.
yeah. It sounds like she wanted some of the pieces, but I never thought about. I've always thought you either do china or you don't do china. I've never heard of the serving piece idea, and I kind of like that.
It's not bad because it
Just
looks
getting
formal.
Yeah, just getting some key serving pieces that can stand on their own, but maybe they can blend. And especially since they're just white with a red design on them, I'm sure they're pretty blendable with what you have, because I've seen what you have.
Yeah. We have other white dishes, and so those are kind of the plain ones, but the other ones are nice little pops of like accent pieces. So
Yeah.
it's really nice. So let me tell you how when we got married, we had this, so we were both students at the time, so we didn't actually have a lot of stuff. So this is for the folks that don't have a lot coming in. We just took all the stuff that we got and put it in our kitchen and did not open it. Well, like we opened the present to see what it was, right?
Right.
But we actually didn't open it from the packaging, because we had this philosophy of, if we need it, we're going to open it. And if we've used it, then that means we're going to use it.
Right. So if you open it to use it, then that's good. If you don't, then what?
And it was like 3 months. We gave ourselves 3 months. And if we haven't opened it in 3 months, then there's a good chance I'm not going to open it in 6 months or a year or 2 years even. I don't know.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty brutal, but that makes sense.
Yeah. So we had a good stack of things, and thank you to all those people that gave us stuff. That was super nice. But we ended up returning it and using that return money to purchase something bigger. And we ended up getting a salt and pepper shaker of the same pattern because of some of that money. Does that make sense? So if you do want to get some of that really nice china that you did register for, then I would say, if there are some things that you want to return and you're like, oh, I can't see myself using this crazy panini press or something like that.
Yeah.
You can use some of that money to buy the pieces that you want, if that's what you want to do. Are you a china girl? Maybe that's the question you need to ask yourself. Do you really want that nice china?
Well, and I think another thing is the frequency of use. Because as you were saying, you have serving pieces, and china traditionally is served when you entertain. That's what you serve on, is when you entertain. People typically don't use china in their everyday home, in their everyday hustle and bustle of getting dinner on the table on a Wednesday night.
Right.
But you could if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And I think I don't necessarily think that you should save your nice things for a nice occasion.
Yeah. Well,
stuff like that.
It kind of comes back.
Don't keep it hidden in the cupboard for your 3 holiday meals that you serve a year or 4. You should be using it at least quarterly. Yeah. Entertain. Or if you don't, if that's not your lifestyle, then don't get it.
Well, and I was going to say, it kind of goes back to our talk about the episode where we talked about kitchen tools. Is it a multitasker? Is it a unitasker?
Right.
Is it going to fit into the lifestyle that you are envisioning and want to use it for? Because some people love china and they are happy just to take it out once or twice a year.
Sure. But I think that's just kind of defeats the purpose of having nice things. I agree. You should be able to enjoy them. And you should enjoy them on a Wednesday night if you want.
Yeah.
Heck, don't have everyday dishes. Just use your china.
Yeah. I think that's not a bad idea because it's pretty. Come on.
It's gorgeous and you deserve good things. But if you can't afford the china, that's one thing. And don't be upset if you didn't get it or don't have enough to take back to make up for a completed set either.
Well, and I was going to say what I think people did it back in the day, and maybe somebody can clarify with me who actually did this. But I think people would get what they got, what they registered for, and people would give them gifts, and then you would acquire pieces as you could
acquire.
Yep, you slowly save money so you can get an extra bowl and to finish out one of your sets, and so that you just complete your set. So I would say maybe start out with the 2 that you need get 2 complete sets for you and your hubs. And then if you really want to make sure that you have enough for all the kids and all the grandparents and the mom and dad and everything like that, then start, if that's part of your plan, just start saving.
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah. You can do it if you want. If you're a China girl, you be a China girl.
But if you're not, don't feel bad.
Yeah, don't feel bad. I'm not traditional, so.
It's a personal decision.
Yeah, because I've broken many dishes. So I shouldn't be a China girl.
I'm a Fiesta wear girl. That's what I'll say. I like the Fiesta wear, like the bright colors, and you can mix and match them.
Oh, yeah.
I also am a fan of the Crate and Barrel open stock.
Oh, is it like the plain white
dishes?
Yes, I have a few of those dishes as well.
They're gorgeous.
Yeah, and they mix well. So like actually quite a few of my serving bowls are the Crate and Barrel white, and they go along great with my handful of pieces that are my serving china, I guess.
Yeah, that open stock works great, and it's really inexpensive.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm curious because once again, I'm not a China girl. So if anybody wants to chime in and tell us their experience with what they've done with their china. Do you like china? Do you have a china cabinet? A hutch? Is that a thing?
Do you dust it?
I don't. Well, we'd love to hear from you guys. So hopefully that helps.
Got a lot of dishes.
I think we wrapped it up.
Thanks for joining us today on our podcast. Please hit subscribe and share our podcast with your other food nerd friends. And you can subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, and Google Play Music.
Woohoo! And you can also find us on hungrysquared.com. That's where all of our show notes are. Thank you so much, you guys. You are the best.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
Hungry Squared, yeah,